In the Dean Park Spotlight this week, we've got the Bachmann Class 45, or Peak as it was nicknamed. This particular model is code 32-677 and was released back in 2008 and remained in the Bachmann catalogue for 2 years. This is a 21 pin DCC ready locomotive, and whilst it is 21 pin, it lacks some of the modern touches that the later Bachmann releases had. For example, it's got no cab light interior and no switches underneath the loco on the fuel tanks to switch off the lights. It's a good performer, but it's not all-wheel drive. It has 8 axles, and it is a 1-co-1 design with basically a kind of like pony wheel at each end, which just was used for distributing weight on the real locomotive. The first 2 wheels on the main bogie are driven, with the middle one on each end not driven. So we've only got 4 axles on this particular loco that are the driving wheels. This is something that's quite unusual on more modern tooled locomotives that have all-wheel drive and all-wheel pickup. Looking at the model, you can see it's a split head code. Where the domino markers are now would have been 2 sets of 2-digit head code displays. They've obviously been plated over with the domino markers. Round about the marker boxes are nice little bits of rivet detail actually, as is along the bottom of the nose where it meets the buffer beam. Overhead flash warning symbols have been fitted, as well as separately fitted lamp irons and cabling. Windscreen wipers are separately fitted and they're fitted on the outer panes as per the prototype. Moving around to the side, you've got separately fitted handrails, no cab door that opens, which is a kind of gimmick anyway, so it's not really a negative point. The grills are just part of the moulded body shell. There's no etch grills here, which is a bit of a shame. It would be nice to see some etch grills fitted to this model in any future retool. Number 2 ends same as the number 1, but in this case I have fitted the NEM pocket tension lock coupler. The BR blue is picked out correctly. Bachmann seemed to nail this BR blue representation, and the edges between the yellow and the blue are generally crisp and consistent. The bogies on this model are fine. The class had a very, shall we say, basic, quite heavy duty looking bogie. The springs etc. on this particular model, if I zoom in slightly, are picked out, but again, any future retool would hopefully look at making the bogies a bit more detailed and more maybe separately fitted parts. Some technical details about this British Railways designed loco. It had a 12-cylinder Sulzer 2,500 horsepower engine. The main generator and traction motors were supplied by Crompton Parkinson. The wheel arrangement is a 1-co-1. The total built were 127, and these were built at Derby and Crewe. The example in front of you here, number 45053, was withdrawn in November 1983, finally being scrapped at Crewe Works by A. Hampton in October 1988. Turning the loco upside down in order to remove the body to fit the decoder, you will see the arrangement of the axles and wheels. This particular one, as I said previously, is not powered. It's not got any pickups either. The pickups are only on these 4 wheels here with this kind of pony wheel. Okay, the pony truck wheel just fitting on a pivot with an extra screw there. There is no switches, as mentioned, for switching off the lights. Removing the body is straightforward, if not a bit time consuming. There are 4 screws here, 4 screws at the other end, and 2 very, very small screws, one at each end, just under the buffer beam to remove. You can kind of class it as an older tooling from Bachmann with the amount of work required to remove it. Once the screws are out of place, It's easy to remove the body. There's no wires connecting to the actual body because there's obviously no cab lights, and the body is a very weighty cast construction. I'll remove that to show you. There is provision for sound in this very shallow well. You might get off with fitting sound without removing the actual roof fan, but with most Bachmann locos of this era you might have to take the fan away in order to get a decent sized speaker enclosure in there.